I was bullied as a kid. My mom had borderline personality disorder
Okay.
and a little bit of schizophrenia. And so my life was constantly walking on eggshells. Psychologically, I wanted to be so big, no one could hurt me.
Okay.
Body dysmorphia is crazy, and it happens to everyone that does bodybuilding. Unless you are in peak condition all the time, you think you're fat.
Seriously?
Yes. Yeah.
So if you could go back in time and we go back little Jake on the playground,
Mm-hmm.
what would you tell him?
Don't worry about these guys. You're going to do great things.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it still hurts, obviously.
I'd like to welcome to the Jerry Glazier Show, Jake. Jake Ellison.
Thank you.
Great friend of mine. We met a little while ago. Kind of interesting.
Very.
Yeah. Wow. We're here. We're doing it.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to have you on the show.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. We just had some setbacks just got out of the hospital a couple, 3-4 weeks ago. And so we're doing good. We're the cardiologist. I was diagnosed 8 years ago with cardiomyopathy.
Okay.
Ejection fraction is at 12% now. If we don't get that straightened around, we're going to maybe go see about getting us a new ticker.
What's an ejection fraction?
So it's the left ventricle, I guess, is how it pumps blood.
Okay.
So mine's like super
Slow.
really slow.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've been walking around with a tape measure the last few days, looking at people going, okay, that's good size heart. What's your blood type? Kind of good, you know? So
Dr. Frankenstein.
So don't feel bad if people are walking around, checking
Measuring
out.
my heart. Yeah.
So
It's no good. Promise.
I love that.
Oh.
You have a very beautiful heart.
Thank you.
You wouldn't be here if you didn't.
Thank you. So,
So tell us how you became you, your passions about
Okay.
your life as a bodybuilder, trainer.
yeah. So I've always been fascinated by the giants of bodybuilding, not the natural guys, the serious pro bodybuilders that are bigger than life. And I really didn't understand what it took or really go after it until I was in my 20s. And from that point, I found it to be, my body type was great for it. And so that was great. And I loved it. And it was a good place. The gym was a great place to just, be me and relax and turn things off and all that kind of stuff. And so I started doing it in my 20s and kind of clung to that, up until now. And now I'm 44. And it was something that I loved.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept doing it. And through every chapter of my life, ups and downs and sideways, I always had that one constant that I could go back to. I always knew the gym was there, whether I took time off, whether I came back, whichever, but it was always a place I could go, and just forget about things and do what I love and things like that. And then as I started years into it, I got really serious and I started really bodybuilding, getting big, putting on weight, weighing meals and counting calories. I mean, there was one point in my life where I was eating 7.5 pounds of food a day. Yeah, to get big. And
Wow.
it was a lot.
7.5
pounds of food, and I got up to over 300 pounds. And you want to know something that hurts your heart?
That was it.
Put on a lot of weight.
But your weight was super clean weight, right?
Muscle. At first it was, I was just putting on weight, and then I cut back down, to about, my best I was, probably between 260, 270, 8% body fat,
Is that good?
Very good. For that size, very good.
Okay.
And to maintain it, yeah.
Okay.
And I did that for years, and through my careers, I was trying to trying to compete and,
Mhm.
you know, at the time become a pro, get my pro
Mhm.
card and, you know, go on to compete against, you know, guys at a national and international level. But I was doing some road crew, public speaking, that type of stuff, and I was always off stage eating. And they're like, and it got to the point where one of the owners were like, "You got to decide.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do both here."
Right.
And so I made a decision to stop bodybuilding because at the time I had a family to support, and you know, just went in full bore into public speaking. And you know, years later, stars aligned, and you know, company made some changes. I left, and you know, public speaking, and but,
What part of public speaking? What were you
um,
promoting or?
yeah. So it was different with different companies. But at the time when I left, they were doing this is how long ago it was. When back when people used to purchase websites.
Okay.
That's how long ago.
Okay.
So, yeah, we would sell packages of websites for and marketing to help people kind of, you know, achieve that freedom, right?
Okay.
Ultimately. But I did that, and then when I stopped, and I just said, "F it, I'm going to do what I really want," and so I started heavy bodybuilding again, even though I had still maintained, you know, shape in the gym. Started concentrating on bodybuilding, and you know, was getting in incredible shape.
Mm-hmm.
And 2015, 2016,
Yeah. Okay.
I was hit by a drunk driver. Yep. It broke everything.
Oh.
Yep. It broke my heart, broke my back, broke everything.
No.
But
So when you say it broke your heart and your back, like what?
I couldn't. It fractured my spine
Okay.
in several different places,
Okay.
and I, you know, later to find out that I, you know, due to my back, I couldn't bodybuild anymore.
No
And,
more.
Yeah.
So
and
everything you've done up to this point, your everything
years just
done.
gone in 1 second. And I still have the visual of this, you know, girl in her 20s who rear-ended me doing almost 60 miles an hour, and I was at a standstill. And she got hit, and I look into my side view mirror. She opens up her door, and a couple of empty vodka bottles come out, and she comes up stumbling in high heels. Please don't go, please. You know, I have money. Please don't call. I looked at her. I said, "You're going to jail." I was like, you're going to jail.
Did you know at this time that you were super jacked up, or
No.
were you just
Yeah, I was. You know, I wasn't feeling it. You know,
Okay,
so to speak.
okay.
I don't know if that's due to shock or it just
yeah,
hadn't set in,
okay.
but it. But after that, you know, went home, had stuff looked at, and they're just shaking their head, and they're like, "Well, you have two options. One, we can do back surgery, and you know the history of back surgery. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you do back surgery, and then you'll be on meds for the rest of your life. Or we can go inside, do a non-invasive type, cauterize all the nerves in your spine, and turn them off, and hope that your back heals itself. But you'll probably be on meds for the rest of your life." And
when you say med, you're talking pain
meds,
medication.
pain meds,
Yeah.
yep.
So that's super horrible because it seems like that's the gateway for people to be
especially in
young.
Utah.
You were super young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was broken in more than one way. So I opted to do the nerve severing the nerve endings. You know, I
Okay.
didn't want to do surgery. And waited, you know, a year or two before I started doing, you know, bodybuilding type stuff. I got really lucky, and it worked to a certain extent. Go ahead.
With that being said, would you say because you were so fit and strong, your back muscles, everything, like
100%.
had you not been in that physical shape,
100%.
then
It was that comment was made many times.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
your back muscles are holding your spine together.
Holding your
I'm
skeleton,
yeah.
skeleton,
Not the other way around.
right? Okay, all right.
And
That's another reason why we should lift weights.
yeah. So it is holding.
keep
yeah,
fit.
It's
Like
holding
me,
you together.
I'm fit.
There you go. So, but yeah, I was lucky. Started bodybuilding. Was still kind of in pain. You know, had to take, you know, pain meds once in a while, and you know, for shooting pain,
Right.
because nerve endings and stuff. But I was lucky, and I was able to get back into bodybuilding, and just as you know, I was, you know, getting in again the best shape of my life, while bodybuilding, re-broke my back.
Oh, so while you're working out,
Yep.
you broke your back.
Yep. Doing
So that's why you don't want to lift weights.
well, no, not that heavy anyways.
So you're saying you were going
No.
bigger going home, and
Yeah.
we went big and broke your back.
Yep. I was doing bent over T-bar rows, if you know where that
No,
is.
what is that?
It's you know,
I mean, I do know that. but
you're
go
bent
ahead.
over, a barbell between your legs, and you're doing an upward row motion.
Okay,
You know,
yeah,
like
yep.
this. But being bent over put so much pressure on my spine. It re-injured it again.
Were you at the gym?
Mhm.
So you're at the gym,
man.
and did you just go to the floor?
My knees, yeah.
And everybody's like, hell,
you're
we got a
like,
man down.
Yeah, well, at the time, the biggest guy in the gym is freaking cowering on the ground,
Right.
you know, and it's just.
Boston
and-
membership just went down, cut by 50%.
Yeah. No, but it was just, it was horrible. I had just, you know, it's like, you know, you're going to achieve a dream,
Right.
and you're right there, and somebody
Yes.
smacked your hand, no cookie for you, you know? It's just like, I don't know. But, and so.
So how did you overcome it? Because, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking now, we've been doing this now 10 years, 15.
Yeah. So
And-
I had stopped for a couple of years, and well, it was probably, you know, 3 or 4. So I've been back at it for a good 10 years, and then my back rebroke probably 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago.
You still look great.
Well,
I mean, you're still, I mean,
It's-
I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, I've seen the pictures of you. You're a monster. You look like The Rock. I don't know if people can, I mean, you're a big dude. You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
I saw you in the vault,
Yeah.
up to our vault, I was like, holy cow, this guy's a monster.
Thank you. I was much bigger and much more cut up and shredded and things like that. And it's been a challenge too, you know, because now I had to go back, get everything looked at again, and now they're like, you need surgery, period. And I'm like, no, you know, I'm not going to do it. And, you know, and they're like, well, not only that, it's a specific type of surgery because you have cracks and fractures in your spine, in your bones. It's not like the cushy disc is down. It's like there are fractures in your bones. And so it was, that was, you know, 4 years ago. And so since then, I've been doing a lot of cardio, basketball, anything to keep my heart rate up type of thing. But I can't do any type of heavy lifting anymore. You know, like I, you know, would be to gain muscle or to compete and things like that. And so it has been it's been a challenge because for a while there, you know, you've lost direction. Go ahead.
So if you could give my guest
Yeah.
some advice especially me, like you and I have talked,
Yeah.
I'm down 12 pounds, feeling good, starting to get a little bit of little shred going, starting to get a little vascular. I'm excited.
Good.
You're just keep doing stuff.
Yeah.
Cardio, eating clean,
Yep.
Always being a calorie deficit, protein based on the body mass that you want to have. You eat the protein to be that. So if you want to be 200 pounds, you eat 200 grams of protein. If you need 2,000 calories to live, you always want to be in a deficit. So those are great things.
Yeah. So everybody claims, different things,
Right.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I have found that those are great guidelines, but you've just got to do what works for you.
Okay.
And so,
Okay.
and weird things like if you might go, do a test where you find out what you're allergic to.
Okay.
Things like that. You might be taking things that are healthy on the board, but behind the doors, they're actually inflaming your joints and your
Right.
muscles and making you have flu symptoms and things like that. Go ahead.
Did you? So we now have this kind of context of where did you get it from? Where did your family? Was it something your father? Where did you get this desire? What about him?
Yeah. So as far as my dad was 6'1",
Okay.
soaking wet, 180 pounds.
Really
Yeah. He was not a big man. He's
Not
powerful, but
big,
not,
but not huge
yeah,
like
he
you.
was not. No,
Okay.
my grandpa, 6'5", 300 pounds,
Okay.
big boy.
Skipped a generation.
Yeah. I did.
Okay.
Well, or I got my mom's genes, because my mom was almost 5'10", so
That's awesome.
could whip my butt for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah. So as far as wanting to be big and things like that, if you really want me to be really real with you,
I would love
it
that.
would it was more of a let's not get too psychological into childhood or anything, but I was bullied quite a bit.
Okay.
I was back then. Truth be told, you see fat kids all the time now. That was not the case
Right.
when we were younger. You either were as lean as an Abercrombie and Fitch model, or you were just a bigger kid, or you were super, super fat. There was not a bunch of big people.
So why is that now in society? Why are we having more obese children? And even expand on it, isn't that a form of child abuse? I mean, when you allow your kids to, they're pre-susceptible to pre-diabetes, like eating disorders.
Well, I guess that depends on how you look at it. The way I've seen it is, we eat what's presented to us, right? And so if the parents are presenting these types of foods, why are they? And, are they doing it because the kids are throwing a tantrum and they don't, discipline their kids to not, or is it ease of use? And they've got a job that requires 80 hours a week, and we get the easiest and simplest thing to throw in front of our kids to,
Which
make
is
them
not
happy.
really food anymore.
No, it's not.
The food that's out here now is not
No.
the food that.
And I'm sure everybody has heard this and looked at it, but a lot of the things that are allowed to be sold in this country are outlawed in other countries. Like England, you can't, off the top of my head, things like Pop-Tarts, stuff like, a staple breakfast food for kids,
Yeah.
like you can't, you can't have that kind of stuff. So, but no, I was, bullied as a kid. My mom had a BPD, borderline personality disorder,
Okay.
and a little bit of schizophrenia. And so my life was constantly walking on eggshells, literal, or else, you might set off a landmine. And her landmine was big. And anyways, and so psychologically, I wanted to be so big, no one could hurt me.
Okay.
Yep.
So there we go. We
Yeah.
finally got we have the drive.
Yep.
The drive was So were you small as a child or big as a child?
No, I was a big kid. I got teased and called
Okay.
fat, but I wasn't. That's the thing.
You were just a big.
I was just a big kid, and I didn't have, super fast metabolism. You know, even kids today, I look at them and I'm like,
Yeah.
that I know what the difference is between fat and just a big kid.
Right. I
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah.
I truly
So-
do, and it drives us.
Yep.
So I had the ADHD. I have dyslexia. Was also as a big kid, and so that was tough.
Yeah.
You
it
know,
was.
and you'll either succumb to it or you will make it fire you to grow.
Right. Right. And
And
then I would get teased there, and then go home and
deal with mom.
and it was if you don't know anything about borderline personality disorder, it's terrifying, and because you don't know what version of that person you're going to get
Okay.
anytime. And when people ask me, well, give us an example. The example I like to use is this one time grade school. Let's say I want to say third grade, fourth grade. Must have been 10 years old, maybe 8 or 9. And I had been teased at school, and of course I was a sensitive kid. I was not. Our house was very strict. You didn't call people names. I mean, you didn't say "shut up." That was a 4-letter word. Just like. And so I did not have a thick skin because it wasn't coming at me.
Right.
And so you go out into the schoolyard and you get all those things. It's much different. So one time I had come home and I was crying because I had been, teased, and I just I hate this story.
No, let's go.
So-
Let's,
But anyways, I
So-
came home crying,
right.
and my mom, crouched down, opened her arms, and said, "Come here. What's the matter?" And I said, "The kids are calling me fat," and she stopped hugging me and said, "Well, maybe if you weren't so fat, they wouldn't call you names." And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Where do you go with
Yeah,
that?
it's just like, and so there was it's between that and it's like somebody's beating the hell out of you and then saying, "I'm sorry, I love you." It's just
Right.
like constant.
Yeah.
What kind of mind fuckery is looking back? And so
Right.
it was it was hard. So I hated home life. I ended up leaving at 15 because it was so hard. Emotionally, mentally. Just finished high school on my own, got a job, the whole 9 yards. But
Yeah.
going back into bodybuilding is I wanted to, protect myself.
Right.
And, it was, that's the being big and being intimidating. And nobody would mess
Nobody
with
was
me.
going to.
Yeah.
You're going to be the rock in the vault when I
Yeah.
seen you and said,
Yeah.
"Not on my watch."
Yep.
I love that.
So,
Okay.
and so it was it made me feel confident in
Yeah.
things that I had accomplished. It made
Yep.
me feel confident that I could protect myself, protect my family, and basically deal with anything that would come at me because I was this big force to be reckoned with, And so when it ended, and it ended twice, it was heartbreaking to say the least. So
So defining moments, in up to this point in your life.
yeah, there's so many of them, but
Yeah.
that was probably one of them where, it makes you question everything that you've done up to this point.
Right.
Which way do you go?
What do you believe in?
Well, yeah, all that too. And so it's
How did that affect you with your relationships with your significant others and people around you because of?
well, it's been hard. So my wife now,
Okay.
Heather, We've been together since 2018,
Okay.
so a good portion.
Yeah.
But, you know, as I'm struggling to find direction or my way, or, you know, what do I do now? And it's not the question of how do I support my family,
Right.
right? It's my mental factor of what do I do now?
Right.
What is going to drive me? And things like that. But it got to the point where she approached me. This is a while back, but approached me and she's like, I need my Jake back. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, another.
So would you say that you pulled away from her, went into your box because you identified as Jake the Rock,
Yep.
and then all that stuff from your childhood? So would you say that the generational trauma from your childhood started to show up because now you couldn't be the Rock?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
It is fair to say.
And then you just went back into your box,
I was not.
shut down.
Yep. I wasn't confident anymore. I wasn't. You know, shut down is the best way to do it. You just, you know, and you know, you try. You just try all these different things, and you know, and so. But it got to a point where she was like, "This isn't you,"
Right.
and it wasn't a cry of, you know, you're not the man I married type of thing. It was, you know, I'm here for you. So it was why I'm wearing the glasses.
Right. So it's interesting for my guest and for like when we look at you, we see a very fit, very well put together, very handsome, right? And so it's hard to me like
To comprehend that.
yeah, because I'm over here all pudgy. I don't look good naked, so I'm working on it.
Yeah. Body dysmorphia is crazy, and it happens to everyone that does bodybuilding. Unless you are in peak condition all the time, which isn't doable. It's not. Unless you are, you think you're fat.
Seriously?
Yes. You think you're fat.
No.
Doesn't matter how many times somebody gives you a compliment. Doesn't matter, because you know where you've been. You know what you've looked like, and this person who's complimenting you, you know, you appreciate it, but you know that you're capable of more.
Okay.
And so it's very, you know, and in my case, you know, I know I'm capable of more, but I've been halted there now, and so it's a good. I don't know. It's a good mind F. So, but
Tell us about, share with us about your father. We've talked about your mother. What about your father?
My dad, from a very young age, not him, he and I were, you know, best friends.
Okay.
You know, so even though, you know, so we lived in Santa Barbara, California, very well-to-do town. If you know Santa Barbara, and the LDS community there is so small, you really can get any job you want. Doesn't matter how high, you know, up the ladder, if you are in the LDS ring, and we happen to be there. And he got a job at Santa Barbara Savings and Loan, being the branch manager.
Okay.
To give you an idea, Santa Barbara banks, they process all of the income tax for the country. So, I mean, it's big business, federal income,
Oh,
so,
okay,
I mean, it's a lot. It's
So
lot. Super stressful, super lots of money. I remember Santa Barbara, the lunches every week with my dad, and he did that with all of his siblings. You know, had a nice house. I remember being a young child and just being happy. And there got to a point where he was not, and he uprooted us, and we came to Utah. And he went back to school and got his master's in psychology and sociology.
Yeah.
Yeah. And along that road, we became even closer. To put himself through school, he became a farrier. He was horseshoeing.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Okay.
And taught
That's
me.
a tough business. That's hard on the back
It's tough.
and knees, right?
It's tough.
Yeah.
So, you want to know a tough guy? Go meet with farrier.
Yeah.
So he taught me how to do that and all sorts of stuff. But eventually, you know, he got his degrees, and he worked at a substance abuse facility in Provo, Utah, called Foothill Treatment Center.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
familiar with it.
They've
right?
been around for a long time.
Okay.
And then eventually, he got the opportunity to write his own rehabilitation program because he saw that there were things missing. They're
Yeah.
not teaching. All they're doing is bringing these guys in there and keeping them from touching drugs for 30 days.
That's
and and kumbaya and sit in a circle and talk about
You're
what
feeling-
you've done and blah blah. It's not what he saw it. I believe he saw it as, this is not helping people.
Right.
And so he got the opportunity to write his own treatment program, and called it the OUT program, the on unit treatment program.
Okay.
And it was on unit treatment because after he wrote it, he implemented it over at Foothill.
Okay.
They loved it so much. He then got statewide awards for it.
Okay.
And then they implemented it in the jails and prisons and things like that. And so, yeah. And it was impressive. And this program was not the Foothill program. It was not easy to get into. Guys wanted in it because it would shave time off their stay
Okay.
inside the
okay.
jail or
prison.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was long-term people. You had to be there, like your sentence had to be at least a year to even be considered for the program. But if you got through the program and completed it, time would be taken off. But I mean, the program itself was, 3 months long. To get in was an excruciating process of people having to write. I mean, the first thing you have to do is write a 10-page biography about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And, even today when you were, asking me, tell me some things about yourself. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. So, so to even do that, to be considered for the program was
Right.
tough. Many people got turned away, many. And, but also too, many got in and changed their lives. And I would run into people all the time while he worked there and just say, your dad changed my life.
Oh.
Yeah, it's great. Oh,
So when
But,
you run into somebody and they would say, your dad changed my life, what does that mean?
well, just I think that he kind of he had a way of showing you how stupid you were with a lot of love.
Okay. Okay.
So,
okay.
Things like, I deserve to have a good time, stupid thinking like that. What makes you think you're deserving of anything?
Right.
And there were some tough things in that class, I remember. And I think I've told you this, but they had to come up with a list of their thank gods, and all of their thank gods were reasons or really excuses of why they lived life poorly, why they did drugs, why they became drug addicts, criminals, and, it's fair to say because you have to be incarcerated for at least a year to be in there. And that only happens if you're a repeat offender over and over and over and over. So you haven't made very good life choices. Anyways.
What was the most defining moment of your life up until this point with like, been in a car accident?
Okay.
Your dad has been very instrumental in the drug and alcohol rehabilitation. It's kind of crazy that you actually, somebody that almost ended your life in so
Tied all together?
yeah,
Well,
tie it all together. Give it to us.
So, and it's probably my fault, but the timeline is kind of skewed.
That's okay.
So, my dad died of cancer in 2010. So, yep. Yeah. So, and then my mom died of cancer, 2006. I think so. So they're both dead, and so
They both passed on.
yep, and which was hard. They both died of cancer, and
Both same type of cancer?
no, my mom was stomach cancer brought on by stress.
Okay.
They told her she had 3 months to live. She lived 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
My dad had prostate cancer, and he was the healthiest person you could think of, running, juicing, all these, healthy things. And he, just felt a pain while running one day, went in, and said, "You're stage 4B prostate cancer." And because he was so healthy, he didn't feel anything up until that point. And so, and they told him, they're like, you got 8 months. And he died in 6. And so it was heartbreaking, but as to tying it all in, the most defining moment was probably his funeral. So it was I was a mess more than I am now. So, but I was a mess too. Just he was gone.
Yeah.
And my dad, kind of going back and forth from childhood.
Okay.
So he, my mom was the way she was, and would oftentimes kick me out of the house until he was home. He went to school and then had to do a job, so he wasn't home. So she would kick me out of the house, and we're talking rain, snow, doesn't matter, get out. I slept under cars in our driveway, stuff like that. She was a cruel human being, and my dad would always come home and save me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, but he had done that for my whole life,
Right.
and just apologized. It's not even his fault, and he's like, "I'm so sorry." But anyways, they
So the last 16 years have been a little.
it was tough. It's been tough.
Yeah.
But at his funeral, I was I knew that he had changed people's lives,
Yeah.
right? And the people, respected him and things like that. But at his funeral, there was we had it in a steak center. And steak centers are big buildings, generally bigger than just your normal church. And this thing was overflowing with people.
Who were they?
People he had changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you were just like looking around and you're like,
Yeah. I was like just amazed at the impact he had had on people. And for a while, I was a little selfish. And, I was just like, well, why didn't you, help me, so to speak? You've helped all these other people. What about, me? And the defining moment was me realizing that he had helped me, and he had done both. He had both helped these people and helped me. It was just too
So
much
that
of
was
a
a-
mess.
that was a realization when
was.
you came to that.
I did, and it
You
was
came to that
yep,
space
and realized that I was using my dad, this great man
yeah.
that I admired. I was using him and him being sick and his death to then live life poorly. And so
Powerful.
it was the opposite of what he had taught.
Yeah.
So
Based on moving this forward, the defining moment for you was realizing that the whole time.
yeah, realizing that, I didn't think that, I just thought that he had put all of his energy into all these other people, and it was mind-blowing how many people were there and how many rehab vans were pulling up with, with like truckloads of drug addicts and things like that he had helped. And, go ahead.
What hardship do you think taught you the most in growth? So as we just
Being married?
yeah.
Is
And
that a
why?
hardship?
Why being married? What was that?
So again, I got married for the wrong reasons early on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was? The wrong reasons?
The wrong reason. No, the wrong reasons were to be saved almost.
So you were filling that void from
Yeah.
childhood. So
Yeah.
so you okay.
Yeah, no, you got it. No.
So you were going back to little
Mhm.
the little chubby kid running around the playground,
Looking for somebody to console me.
which was when your mom wasn't, your dad did.
Yep.
And then
yeah.
so if you could go back in time
Mhm.
today,
Yeah.
we'll fire up our magic
Time machine.
and we go back and we little Jake on the playground.
Mhm.
What would you tell him?
I would just tell him like, don't worry about these guys. You're going to do great things,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it still hurts, obviously.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We're hanging out with him right now. And what would you say?
Yeah, just like you're going to do great things. Don't listen to him or
Yeah.
don't listen to them.
Yeah.
And,
Because the kids that are also on that playground are also
yeah.
hurting.
Yeah.
So the ones that hurt other people are the ones that are hurting the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that you got you.
Yeah.
And you get to
Pretty
lift up
much.
your shirt and go, you want to see a six pack? That you will be
Yeah.
probably one of the biggest, strongest, toughest.
Yeah. You won't
You-
be like
yeah.
this forever.
Won't be like this forever, which is the name, which is a big thing of our show is
Yeah.
outlast the temporary, right?
Yep. Yep.
And things are going to suck in your life.
Yeah.
But doesn't that also give you the perspective of when things come great?
Yeah.
You wouldn't know how to love your wife. I'm assuming when we talk
Yeah.
about you got divorced,
Yeah.
but now you have the celestial bride.
Yeah.
That-
That's great.
Not that the first one, maybe you know what I mean, but there's a difference,
There's
right?
a big difference.
You will never
Yeah.
be able to understand or never have the perspective
Mm-hmm.
of what it felt like to be here and now with her.
Well, I always tell people you don't know extreme happiness until you know extreme sadness.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
because you don't know the difference.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, there's a huge difference in the person I married now versus,
Right.
the last person.
Right.
And it was, I like to think I got married for the right reasons, which were, I'm already happy. And I would love for you to be happy with me,
Yeah.
but you don't make me happy. Let's
Right.
just make that clear. I hate that saying, you make me so happy, and you should not be talking about marriage.
Nobody can
No.
make you feel any way, right? Nobody
Yeah.
can make you feel any way you don't choose to
Right.
allow those.
Right. And so,
Well, I'm excited about getting married to the, that's not been my.
case,
Hey. I don't know.
you won't be there forever. And when I would train people, because I
Yeah.
was training others through
Yeah.
bodybuilding, they'd see me and be like, train me. Anyways, I got, to a point where, I was just really irritated with questions, from people. Or then coming up and assuming that I got this way very quickly.
Okay.
How long you been in the gym? Like 3 months? And I'm like, are you effing kidding me?
Right.
Do you know anything about the lift,
Fitness.
the body?
Right.
Anyways. And so as I got short with people,
Mm-hmm.
and as I was training people and would ask them questions, because I would tell them, I go, you don't want me to train you, I promise you,
Right.
because there's no days off,
Right.
So, but one of the questions I asked is, do you think that you look good naked? and all of
No.
them would say no, and I would look at them and say, then chances are your wife doesn't either. They didn't know what to do with that. Nobody did. They
Right.
were offended and knew it was true.
But I really think that you can expand on this. It's like I love beautiful. I
Mhm.
love a beautiful woman. I've had some beautiful partners in my life.
That's the difference.
You've met. You know,
Yes.
and what a beautiful person,
Mhm.
right? We just had those.
From what I just said, chances are your wife doesn't either,
Right.
right? Looking back and
Yeah.
knowing now, it's because I was married in a wrong relationship for the wrong reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I concentrated on. And when you actually find somebody, marry them for the right reasons,
Right.
you don't see them that way.
Right.
You don't, you're just,
Yeah.
you're not judging them.
Right.
Let me see you, is your butt bigger? Is your stomach flatter? Is,
Right.
Is
It's
this,
the heart.
you don't,
Yeah.
and it's odd. They can step on the scale and weigh, at least for me, my wife can step on the scale and put on 10 pounds from a cruise ship,
Right.
that we went on, and she looks just the same as the day I met her,
Right.
So anyways, but if you
We
get
love
married,
her, huh?
Yeah, I do.
So, what now?
Geez, what now?
What are we going to do? Because we're doing some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing now? Tell us about what we're working on.
Oh, geez.
Since we met,
Okay.
life has changed, correct?
Life has changed, yes.
We had a great interaction with you and I.
Mm-hmm.
And now what's going on?
Well, I've learned that there are people out there who can see through me, which I don't like.
Yeah.
But since then, and we met and have had several interactions. We've talked about helping others who are struggling with addiction
Yeah.
and life skills and doing life poorly.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, so my dad's out program, after so many years, the state decided to pull the funding and put it somewhere else. And
Right.
so, and it was a couple $100,000 pulled the funding.
Right.
And so he had to find another form of work. And so he opened up his own treatment facility
Right.
and called it Life Skills.
Right.
And so, and implemented everything that he had written and learned, and pretty much a mimic of the out program, only this program was a voluntary out program.
Right.
Come and go, check in a few times a week type of thing. And so, but when he died, that kind of got buried. And it's with treatment centers these days, they're not, let's face it, they're not working.
Why is that?
It's just because they don't, they're not, maybe this is just my opinion, but
Definitely your opinion.
Okay, but
that's
they're just glorified babysitters.
okay.
They're not teaching them life skills.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, not knocking on anybody's
But you've been around a guy that did. So I mean, you can
Yes.
say, my
Yes.
experience with your experience with it is what?
It reminds me of a parent throwing an iPad in front of a child just to keep them busy so they'll stay out of trouble.
Right.
That
Right.
doesn't teach them anything, except I need something else to make me happy
Right.
and to soothe me,
Right.
And so that's kind of what they're doing. And then when they, as a kid, when you run out of movies to watch on the iPad, watch them again.
Right.
And so, you go into a treatment center and they're, hey, we're going to do yoga 12 times a day. And you're going to go to church twice a day. And, all these things, all they're doing is occupying their time so that they don't have a chance to go score drugs. They're
Right.
not teaching them anything.
Right.
And so,
So here's your big moment. Here's your big moment. We are looking at opening a treatment facility, right?
really? Okay.
And in that treatment facility, we are going to create an environment that is not only sustaining sobriety forever,
Okay.
taking your dad's teachings, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are also going to fix the generational trauma. Because
big
first of all,
step.
we have to identify where did it come from.
Mhm.
Because there's a trigger in everyone's life as we go back to the playground,
Sure.
right? What are you masking yourself for? What is the triggers,
Right.
right?
Right.
I have my son, our
Well-
son Evan's in rehab in Arizona right now.
Yeah.
Great treatment facility.
Well, they call them thank gods,
Yeah.
because thank God that happened to you
Mhm.
so that you have an excuse to live life poorly.
Yeah. Right? Say that again.
It is.
Say that one more time.
Thank God those things happened to you
Yeah.
so that you have an excuse to live life poorly.
Who says that?
My dad.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. No. One of his sayings.
One of his things.
But it goes deep. It goes, if you're not ready, well, you know, when they say in treatment centers, if you're not ready to change, you're not. Because if, this is an example I think I've told you, if, you know, if a woman is there and she has had a life of hell of drug use and just can't change, and her trigger is that she was raped by her uncles.
Right.
She now has to admit, thank God I was raped by my uncles so that I have an excuse to go do drugs and live life poorly.
Wow. Let that sink in for a minute.
I mean, how ready are you to change? You know?
Yeah.
So thank God all of those horrible, horrible things happen to you so that you have an excuse. Because there's other people in the world.
That just gave me the ting, right?
It does.
Yeah.
Because there's other people in this world that have had bad things happen to them.
Yeah.
And they're productive members of society.
Yeah.
You know, they're not off being a recluse and using drugs and, you know, doing horrible things to support that habit, whether it's hurting hurting the people you love,
right,
stealing, doing crime, you know, all sorts of stuff, you know.
Everything I used to do.
Yeah, everything
You saw the shorts.
Yeah.
We came right out and told the world, like, hey, we're not going to sit on this platform that we lived it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
One way or the other, we were the ones that people run scared of.
Yes.
You know, we're the ones that nobody, there's that Glazier kid. He's,
stay away from him.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, and so, yeah, opening up the treatment facilities, you know, sorry, I took your thunder there for a minute.
Nope, keep it
Go
going.
ahead. Yeah. No, but, yeah, I think that treatment centers, they need to do it. You said focus more on triggers. Why? Not necessarily triggers, but, you know, what got you to this point? What trauma in your life has brought you, you know, to this? Because, or, you know, and it could be something like they have not been taught how to handle trauma. Like, you know.
So you would say coping skills.
Yeah, they don't know.
Give them the coping skills, give them the, you know.
Yeah.
So that's super, that is what I found. So spent 4 years working with and trying to eradicate sex traffickers.
Right.
Didn't do very well with it, but I learned a lot.
Okay.
In that time, I realized that the one constant with everything was the fact that what happened to them. And so as soon as you started to understand that the people that are doing this to the children, they're people too. And so it's like, you know, if we pull a child out of trafficking, they're just going to replace the child. Sadly enough, is the world's being propped up, its economy is propped up by drugs and alcohol.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a huge, so
It is.
there's a lot of people that don't want people to get sober. Our great deceiver, you know what I mean? Satan himself. Like if people could not be medicating and stuff, but there's so much going on in the world, and it's medicating through, okay, let me say that differently. Everybody uses something.
Right.
Like my vices are food. You know, when I get stressed out, then it's like, I'm gonna eat gummy bears. You know what I mean? I love
gummy bears.
You know what I mean? So, you know, you and I have talked about, so you ask yourself, what are you willing to put forth for to achieve this? And I made a commitment to you, like we're gonna lift, we're gonna do cardio, we're gonna get the heart better, right? So they told us, if I don't get this taken care of, I will be needing a heart transplant.
Wow.
And that was heavy.
Yeah.
That was an eye-opener for me. Not because, I mean, I don't say that I did anything wrong, it's genetics. But I said, what if?
Well, I mean, hell, if you're any type of religious,
Yeah.
you know, God said it.
Spiritual.
You know, He said, you know, that even you will do works greater than this.
Yeah, John chapter 14.
Yep.
Love that one. Isn't that so? I love John
It
chapter
is.
14.
That one's a good one. And there's another one that says, you know, I believe it's the kingdom or the power of God is is in you. You know,
Is that Matthew? I think that's Matt. Is that not?
I might be.
I gotta get better at my
So do I.
Yeah.
But I believe that heaven is not a place that we're going to.
That's where we.
Heaven is in here. You know,
Where is Christ? Where is God? Where's everybody?
He's
Where's
in
the
here.
temple?
It's all inside.
It's all here.
It's all of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, man-made religion. You know, it just shouldn't say that. All of the physical things like churches and temples and all that. And I think they help people. They concentrate.
Could you imagine if people even?
Yeah,
We'd have our hands full, right?
But again, what it's done is they've put a gatekeeper before God.
Mm-hmm.
You can't reach God unless you go through,
Right.
you know, X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
Back in, you know, early, you know, medieval times, I guess, you know, who was it? The only people that were educated were priests, the church, books, religious books were in Latin. People were uneducated. They couldn't read, so they had to come and understand. They had to come to a priest, come to the church,
And have them teach them.
and
About-
you know,
okay.
and if you can imagine an entire country that uneducated do it, because that's the way it was.
Right.
That's how they kept people, you know, down versus up, the rich versus poor, is education. So,
Yeah.
but even to this day, doesn't matter what religion you're in, there's a gatekeeper, you know,
Yeah.
Catholic, the priest is, you know, come confess your sins.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
that's between me and God.
Yeah.
And whether or not I have come to peace with it in terms of it, not you. LDS religion, well, you know, they say, you've got to go to the temple to feel, you know, Christ, but, you know, you have to do this, and this before I will grant you access. It's like, what? Like, so it's just all man-made stuff.
Yeah.
The power of God is in you.
So, defining moment of your life. We've had some really huge things. We've had childhood.
Yeah.
You've been,
Lots.
you know, relatable, right? Mom, wife,
Mm-hmm.
father. Been in a major accident
Yep.
that shifted your whole world.
Mm-hmm. It did.
You and I have had a really amazing life, this getting to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if I be so bold to say, you've stepped out of your comfort hugely, you're here.
A little bit, yeah.
And you and I have talked about certain things
Yeah.
to share with the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of
So in your
things
world,
I haven't shared, but yeah.
well, in your world, like to be a dedicated bodybuilder,
Mm-hmm.
it is, I think it's the hardest thing next to recovering from drugs. You know what I mean? Like that fortitude
Yeah.
to eat, lift, eat, think, breathe. It is a way of life.
You know, if we're being,
Yeah.
if you want the whole kit and caboodle, you know, because I was addicted to drugs from a young age.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're 15 years old, moving out, trying to do a graveyard shift, go to high school full time, and play football, there is no time for sleep. There isn't.
What kind of drugs were you messing around with?
Oh, the first drug I was ever introduced to was meth. I mean, like, there was no gradual gateway.
You went right for
No.
the.
It was, and it wasn't anything like we're partying. It was just like I was at a graveyard doing a graveyard shift at a fast food restaurant. My buddy, I was exhausted, just falling over, and my buddy's just like, here, just snort some of this, you'll be good to go. And my life, honestly, in that moment, my life changed because I can do it all now.
Yeah, superpower. Superpower.
Yeah. And it was.
Then what happened?
It was
Schizophrenia set in.
oh geez, freaking it took control. How's that?
Yeah.
Freaking it took control, and there's been unfortunately, when you at a young age when you realize that, well, drugs worked in the sense that you would hope they worked. I need more of this to do more good things, like
Right.
support myself. Unfortunately, that's your first thought every time something, I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough this, or freaking you run into severe trauma, and you're like, well, I know that checks me out, and so the gym has always, been my saving grace. And from the way I see it, freaking, I traded one addiction for the other. Only one addiction really does, change your life.
So it would be a good addiction.
Yes.
You're addicted to that.
The gym.
So,
Yeah. I was addicted to, making my body healthy instead
Right.
of tearing it down.
turn your body into a temple, which is huge, right? Because
Yes.
they talk about that. Our bodies are temples. Everything we need is inside of us.
Yeah.
Right? In here. And so if we treat our body it's not like it's a terrible
Garbage disposal.
garbage disposal, yeah. So you're going to be a direct reflection.
Yeah.
So what conversation do you feel we should be having more in society? If you could just
In society, in relation to, are we talking about people in treatment centers, or just
whatever
Because
you think
I think
is,
there's
if you have a global
audience.
microphone right now, and Jake, this is the wisdom of you.
Yeah.
What conversations do you want to leave
Oh man.
on the world? If you could have a conversation with every man, woman, child on this planet, what would you
Oh
say?
man. If I had just the answer is love. That's it. If you don't, and it's love for yourself, love for others, accepting love,
Yeah.
and I think people need to hear more of that.
Yeah.
That they are loved, and it's very, I don't know, it's it's different coming from a stranger versus coming from somebody who knows a little bit more about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a big hill for a lot of people that are, well, not just necessarily struggling, but in life. They wonder if I'm worthy of love, if they knew everything that I had done. Am I worthy?
Am I enough?
Yeah.
Am I enough?
Do I deserve love? And I think that comes back to, religion, actually,
Would you say religion or spirituality?
spirituality, not
Yeah.
the religion, but a lot of people, they've been, anywhere in Utah you go, you've been taught about, God. This is the religious factor is really big here. But I think that people, even though you say, yeah, God has seen everything and knows everything that you've done, I don't think people really believe that in the sense that it sinks in, because if you did, then you would be turning to him constantly, if you believed that, I'm kind of twisting my words a little bit. They don't go turn to him because of all the bad things that they feel that they've done. They're hard on themselves, and so they're not worthy of grace, love. That could be God. It could be from a parent or something, but they don't believe that they're worthy of it because of the things that they've done. And
So are you saying that
they don't, well, I'm saying that they don't turn to God because, you know, if he knew what I had done, he wouldn't love me, you know?
Right?
But it's a double-edged sword. So either he knows everything or he knows nothing. Which is it?
So do you think that God judges you? Or do you think you judge you?
Oh, we're too hard on ourselves. I'm too hard on myself.
The God that I
Yeah.
he's love.
Yeah.
He's your father.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't tell you what you want to hear. He tells you what you need to hear. Jesus Christ. What a cool big brother.
Yeah.
Like, what a cool big brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's our advocate.
Yeah.
He's the one that goes to bat and be like, listen, he
Mm-hmm.
came to this world. He spent time, did everything we did.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, there was one thing he said that would give us 1,000 years of peace. What is it? One word. You said it earlier. Yes, you did.
Oh, did I? Oh,
Love.
love. Yeah.
That's it. Fixes everything.
It does.
There is not a more powerful word that I know of than love.
Yeah.
Because if you loved, love doesn't mean relationship.
No.
But what it does say that I love you. When did people get so disconnected from like you love your wife and your kids,
Yeah.
parents above, but then it's like the guy down the street really is your brother too through this stuff. But it's like the farther you get away, the less compassionate you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always found that interesting throughout my life. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wonder if they, you know, confuse love with connection.
Yeah.
You know,
Powerful.
or confuse it with, you know, whether, you know, just whether or not how close they are to that person, you know.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it, you know. So it's, but I mean, if,
Yeah.
so I have a friend,
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Nidell,
Okay.
great guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was I did public speaking for a while, and I went to go watch him one time, and he, oddly enough, I don't remember what he was talking about, but I remember this instant when
Okay.
he was talking, and he said, you know, close your eyes, you know, and I want you to envision everyone that you have wronged.
Okay.
Everyone.
Okay.
And everyone that you neglected,
Okay.
that you saw, that you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, thought, I wonder if they need a hug. I wonder if it's everyone where you, that you did wrong
Mm-hmm.
or didn't show love to when you had the chance. And I want you to envision all of them in a room, and it's you on one side and them on another. And then I want you, yep.
Okay.
And then I want you to envision them, each individual one of them, coming up to you and saying, I love you.
Wow.
Yep.
Jay, that's
So-
powerful.
Yeah. And man, I have done that a lot of times because it, you know, it definitely helps. But if, you know, the answer is love, because it breaks down everything. It doesn't matter, you know? So that's my
What do you
2
believe
cents.
matters the most when everything is stripped away?
What matters most is how you treat people.
How you treat yourself?
Yeah, well, yourself included.
Yeah.
How you treat people. And a lot of people at the end of the day, if they die, they think that, you know, knowledge is the only thing you can take, you know, or
Yeah.
this or that. And I think it is. The only thing that you can take is the knowledge of the relationships and impact that you have had on people, because it creates a feeling.
Yeah.
It really matters how you treat people,
Yeah.
you know, and yourself.
I always tell people I involve, which you remember the first introduction with me, right?
I
Was
do.
it different than anything you ever felt before?
It was very different. It was very different. Jerry was open, talkative, smiling, and didn't hold back. If we're, kind of tying into the way you treat people, like I just said. And, the vibe I got off Jerry was genuine, curious, loving, sure of himself, or our interaction. So, you came across as very sure of the fact that you and I were supposed to meet. So it was very surprising. But after that interaction and after
Multiple conversations.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that conversations. But I found myself, I was just contemplating him. Like what I said, either he knows what he's talking about, or there's a trick, or I don't know. But I came to the conclusion that from our conversations that he actually does have some kind of, gift. And I don't know what it is, but it put me at ease and made me kind of open up, a little bit, which I don't do with people.
Right.
So, again, what kind of trickery is going on here, So,
What's my intentions?
that was a big thing. I did not sense any malintent, none. And I think once I felt that it was a genuine care, it was not, you're not trying to fleece me, you're not trying to figure me out to do this, do that. And I'm because of my childhood, I'm like, all right, when's the other shoe gonna drop? Here we go. And there was, I sensed that there was just goodness.
Genuine love.
Yeah, that was it. Freaking, so I lowered my walls a little bit, gave him a little bit of information, see what he did with it. And
Here we are.
here we are.
I love you, Jake. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for being vulnerable.
Of course.
Thanks for sharing our story, sharing your story. We got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I would like to work with you at adopting your father's work.
Yeah, great.
One of our sponsors, Reams Western Wear out of
Okay.
Spanish Fork, Utah.
I'll let you know what my wife thinks.
Right? So, yeah, thank you so much for being on the show. And we want to end it with a hug. Is that good?
Of course.
Okay.
No, as long as I don't break this thing.
So just give you an idea how big he is. Thank you everybody for watching. I'd love you to click on subscribe, keep the momentum going with the show. Thank you, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.